Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Young here and welcome to a Metal Gear Solid 5 news update. Today I would like to analyze the English version of Ground Zeroe's daytime demo. Just keep in mind that since the English version is identical to the Japanese version shown at Tokyo Game Show, I'll only be pointing out new information that came about as a result of the translation. If you'd like to check out the more in-depth analysis, click on the provided annotation to check out my analysis for the Japanese version, and then be sure to come back. Anyways, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Right off the bat, we are shown Ground Zeroe's mission selection menu. The first thing that you may notice is this difficulty selection bar at the top, which can be toggled with the triangle button. This particular demo only features a normal and hard difficulty level, but it wouldn't be far-fetched to expect at least one more difficulty when the final game is out. Interface-wise, there's definitely enough space for one more. Now, if we take a look at the bottom here, we are shown the objectives for the Tokyo Game Show 2013 special mission. The mission involves contacting a US agent undercover at the base and retrieving his cassette tape of classified intel on the black site. It's important to note that this mission will also be featured in the final game, although according to the commentary, the undercover agent will be more difficult to find. It's also highly likely that some of the mission parameters will be modified as well. Anyways, once we dive into the game, the first thing we hear is Kaz's voice providing Snake with intel.
Boss, you need to make contact with the undercover agent posing as a soldier at the base. He'll pass you a cassette tape containing classified information. Start by taking a look at the agent's VI on your Idroid. Once you've spotted him among the Marines, make contact and get that cassette tape.
All codec conversations I've seen thus far happen live without a separate menu, and I wouldn't be surprised if this were the case for the entirety of the Metal Gear Solid 5 experience, with Kojima's focus on immersion and all. During gameplay, we are also shown the English version of the binoculars. The right analog stick, or R3 as indicated by the downwards arrow on the top, is used for zoom, while L2 is used to receive intel from headquarters about a certain point of interest. Notice that the intel icon appears when Snake points at what seem to be portable toilets. Perhaps the intel would say something about being able to hide in these if it comes to that. We are also shown the English version of the Idroid. Even in the Japanese version, a large portion of the text was in English, but some of the smaller and more descriptive text were all in Japanese. But now we can kind of see what they say. On the top right corner, we are given the mission title along with the current objective. For this particular demo, the current objective goes from make contact with the agent to get the tape from the watchtower, warehouse area, and then to escape from facility. It's a very RPG-style objective interface. Next, to the left, on menu mode, we are shown 4 different icons, one of them being Mission Info with the subtitle Display Mission Data. The second icon is Log with the subtitle Check Log. The log menu could be a number of things, from completed mission objectives to dialogue that's been spoken, but we have never been shown this menu, so it's hard to tell at this point. The third option is labeled Helicopter with the subtitle Call Chopper. Obviously, this third option is to designate a landing point for the extraction chopper. Anyways, enough about the Idroid, let's talk about stealth gameplay. I would first like to direct you to this portion of the demo, during which the commentator talks about bullet drop.
Alright, I'm going to take this guy out with my tranquilizer, but note that the target reticule is white as opposed to red, meaning that I'm out of the effective target range of the weapon. So I'll need to aim high and use the notches on the target sight to compensate for the drop of the bullet based on distance. Bullet drop adds more realism to the game, but it does take some getting used to. So beginners may want to get close to targets, or use a high-powered lethal weapon to minimize the drop effect until they get the hang of it.
Don't think I could word it better myself. Now, in my previous videos, I always assumed that bullet drop only applied to the tranquilizer gun, but notice how the commentator said that players could use high-power lethal weapons to minimize the drop effect. But he never says that the drop effect is removed completely. In other words, other weapons also likely have this bullet drop effect, although the effective weapon range of these lethal, high-powered weapons is probably much greater than that of the tranquilizer gun. Another way you can tell that lethal weapons will feature bullet drop is the fact that Snake's MRS-4 rifle's crosshair, like the tranquilizer gun, turns red when enemies are in its effective weapon range. The crosshair will likely remain white for this weapon when aiming at very distant enemies. And for the icing on top, if you look at this footage, you can kinda see the bullet drop effect happening live. Moving on, we get to witness Snake making contact with the undercover agent, during which we get to hear another tidbit of Kiefer Sutherland's voiceover.
Spit it out.
I don't know about you, but Kiefer's voice is really starting to grow on me. This scene also gives us the full English translation of what this undercover agent says.
You're here for... No! Hey, not so tight, huh? I put everything on a tape. I don't have it on me. I needed to stash it. Had eyes on me, and these guys, they don't work for Langley. He's... you know... Forget it. You watch your ass, too. All right. Come on, do it.
He says something about these guys not being Langley, or CIA in other words, which seems to arouse Snake's suspicion. Unfortunately, it's hard to say why this information is so significant until we get more context, but something to put a pin on in the meantime. Up next, we are shown the Idroid once again, but this time demonstrating the game's marker system. There are two types of markers one can place. The square marker is called the target marker, as shown by the word target that appears as the player hovers over the square marker. The circle marker is simply called marker, which is what players can put down anywhere on the map to mark a point of interest. Players can even overlap the two markers, although there seems to be little point in doing that. Both of these markers can be seen on the game screen, which is pretty neat. Another feature of the Idroid map is its ability to designate a landing point for the extraction chopper. I've already covered this in my previous analysis, but since I couldn't read the Japanese text, I never knew what this little blurb said. But in this video, the text can be clearly read as landing zone, with danger level of the zone displayed below. Let's skip ahead now and talk about the game's slow motion feature, which is officially called Reflex mode. Metal Gear fans have been concerned that this feature would make the game too easy for them. Well, have no fear folks, the commentator officially confirmed that Reflex mode can be turned off in the options. I personally will be playing with the feature turned off, but this should come in handy for those who are new to the Metal Gear franchise. And with that, I would like to end this analysis. I know there's still some footage left, but again, I've covered the rest when I analyzed the Japanese version of the demo, so be sure to click the annotation and check the video out if you haven't done so yet. And to be further updated on Metal Gear Solid 5, be sure to join the nation and subscribe to Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much, and Young out!